Hi Sketchlab friends! Do you love drawing cute things? Well, in this video, you'll learn how to draw 5 adorable summer treats with your favorite characters like Hello Kitty as an ice cream cone, Pusheen as a gooey s'more, a sweet Cinnamoroll milkshake, a tropical axolotl lemonade, and the happiest pineapple popsicle ever. So let's grab your art supplies and let's get started. Hi Sketchlab friends! Is it ice cream? Is it Hello Kitty? Nope, it's both. Today we're mashing up the world's cutest cat and the world's yummiest cone. So let's grab your art supplies and let's draw this delicious, sweet Hello Kitty dessert. Let's go. So we're going to start off with the shape of the head. So I'm curving a line out to the left, and then I'm curving a line out to the right. A little bit like parentheses. And this is going to be more of a watermelon-shaped oval that we're creating for the head of Hello Kitty. And so at Sketchlab, we like to build with basic shapes and forms. So draw lightly, it's easier to erase. So we got our first ear. I want you to think about size relationships in the drawing. How big are the ears in relationship to the head? Also the placement. And we're going to draw this little oval. Be our first eye. And the nose. We're off to an awesome start. Now we're going to work on the bow. So Hello Kitty's going to have a bow on top, a strawberry swirl, and just enough kawaii to melt your heart. So I curved a line to the left. And the shape of her bow. This is turning out so awesome. So this is going to be the ice cream on top. So we can see we just drew a shark's fin. That's a cross contour line. Curves around the form. Once again. And these cross contour lines make it look more three-dimensional. Awesome. It's our little strawberry for our strawberry swirl. This is going to be the shape of the strawberry. For the leaves, I'm creating kind of like football shapes. You see I'm curving a line to the right, then to the left. And I'm going to curve a line out to the right. And we're going to start working on the ice cream now. That's dripping over the edge of the ice cream cone. And this creates overlapping. It's a method of creating space, which is an element of art. We want to make sure we curve a line down. And that's going to make this look like a form, a cone. Same thing at the bottom. We're going to curve a line down. And now we're going to draw those cross contour lines. This is the texture of the cone. So they just opened up a Handel's ice cream by my house, and it is very good ice cream, I'd have to say. Every flavor I've tried. And now we're moving on to the whiskers. So 3 on each side. It's so much fun doing these mashups. I enjoy drawing these characters and the desserts. It's always good to show your mistakes, and it's okay to make mistakes and erase. Because after all, they're just happy accidents, right? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and outline. Now, if you don't have Posca markers, don't worry. You can use color with whatever you have. We're basically using color as value. So I do have a light pink and a pink. I also am going and adding a white highlight. With the strawberry, I have red and dark red. We're trying to use value. And now here's the pink, which is darker than the light pink, creating the shadows. And with the white Posca paint marker, going in and adding some highlights. This is the color ivory. And if you wanted to make it lighter, you could just go with white over the top. And for the cone, we have light orange and apricot and brown. I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to come back to the cone. So I did ivory for the lines, and I'm doing the brown in the shadows. Looks like their arrows kind of like pointing up. Adding in those little sprinkles and all those fun little details. And this was a fun one today. Look how amazing it turned out, guys. Wow. It never gets old. Love, love, love. Well, I hope you enjoyed drawing with me. Check out the full Posca marker playlist for more fun videos. You gotta sketch them all. Hi, Sketch Lab friends. Well, what's cuter than a cat? A cat squishing a marshmallow into a melty snack. Well, let's draw this chunky Pusheen s'more before it melts away. So this is going to be the shape of Pusheen's body. It's looking a little puffy Cheeto-esque. So it is a bit of an oval shape. And yeah, it is a little puffy Cheeto-like. Or maybe Tic Tac kind of oval. It's going to be our shape here we're starting off with. That's going to be the body of Pusheen. This turned out so amazing today. I'm so excited. All right, we're going to start adding on the ears. So here's the left ear. And I'm going to go ahead and erase off this construction line. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the other ear. So Pusheen isn't sitting on a s'more. She became the s'more today. So now we're going to go ahead and work on just curving that body around just a little bit more, cleaning up some of these lines. And that's the great thing about Kawaii style art, is that simplicity. I'm going to go ahead and draw the tail. So I guess this is what happens when Pusheen goes camping. You can see how we're curving these lines up. So now they're cross contour lines, lines that curve around the form. We're going to draw a little hind leg. Erasing off the little construction line there. We're going to go ahead and draw another little leg. And another little leg. So one of the reasons why these characters are so cute is because of their proportions. So you got this big body, you got these tiny little legs. And we're going to go very basic kawaii style, just like the 2 black dots for the eyes. And 2 lines of curve down to make a little smiley face. And Pusheen is looking fantastic. I think we're gonna add on a couple markings and some whiskers. Those final little details on our character. And obviously now's a good time to kind of stand back from your work, make adjustments as needed. And the Pusheen has 3 little markings on her forehead. Okay, so we're going to be using 2-point perspective, except we're not going to draw the vanishing points. So we're starting off with the vertical line, and I want you to pay attention to this angle right here. It's about a 45-degree angle. Changed it up a little bit. And I'm going to match that same angle. So I want those lines to be parallel. Parallel means I want them to be the same. Drawing that vertical line down. So we're going to start off with the cube. That's what a lot of artists do when they draw 3D. They'll actually draw images inside of these cubes. Oh, for instance, you could do cars. If you've ever seen the 3D car books using 2-point perspective. And you can see same angle. So it kind of looks like a letter V that's a bit stretched out, right? At the top and the bottom. Some people maybe see like, oh, it looks a little bit like an open book. But if you're using real 2-point perspective, you would have 2 vanishing points that we would be drawing to. So this is a little bit of a cheat method. And we're going to match this same line. So those lines are now parallel. And this line here, that angle, we're going to match. And there goes our basic cube. So now that we have the form, now we're going to go ahead and actually turn it into a s'more. So we're going to make it 2 pieces of chocolate. So we're going to make a mark, make another mark, and another one. And I'm just going to draw to the mark. And yes, these lines are going to be parallel with the bottom line. That's what we want. And then we're going to draw another piece of chocolate on top. Maybe it's Hershey's. I love Hershey's chocolate. It's solid. I also like Dove. Dove is pretty good. And you'll notice that these lines are once again parallel to the ones above them. Well, now we got to make it look like there's a marshmallow in between these pieces of chocolate, right? Kind of cleaning up some of these lines. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and erase these vertical lines off. And look at this, I'm going to curve a line to the left. This is going to make it look like the marshmallow is smushed in between these two pieces of chocolate. And look what I'm going to do here. Curve that line out to the right. Drawing a little bit of the peekaboo line at the back of that form. And you can see I'm going back now, kind of curving the corners of my chocolate. Ooh, Ghirardelli chocolate is really good. I forgot about Ghirardelli. Or is it Ghirardelli? How do you pronounce it? And now we're going to add a little bit of overlapping so that marshmallow looks like it's melting, going over the edge of that piece of chocolate. So you can see we have a lot of overlapping, a lot of different layers here. Just kind of going back over those parallel lines. And then we've got to add a little face onto our little marshmallow too. So we'll do the basic Kawaii style expression with 2 dots. And then we'll also draw the little 2 little lines that curve down to create the little expression, smiley face. All right, guys. So since we did use some construction lines today, you might want to look at the final outline here on the left-hand side. And if you don't have Posca markers, don't worry about it, because I'm going to show you how to color with value today. So in art, value refers to the lightness or darkness of a color. And so colors have value. For instance, pink is light red. Maroon is a darker red. So colors, just one color has a range of value that would be called monochromatic, but also colors that are next door neighbor on the color wheel also have value. For instance, let's say blue-green, green, and yellow-green. That's another example of value, and that would be analogous color schemes. So those are next door neighbors on the color wheel. So when we're coloring with our markers, usually we're thinking about monochromatic, range of value of the one color, and then your other option is using analogous color schemes to create value, using next door neighbors on the color wheel. All right. So in today's color palette, for the marshmallow, I'm going to be using ivory and beige. So ivory is a light yellow, so that would be considered a tint, a color that has white added to it. And then for the shadow, I'm using beige, which is also like a light tan. And with the Posca markers, you have an option of coloring in layers. So you could just paint a layer and let it dry. And then you could do what's called cutting in, and that means go over the top of that with a different color. Another option is color mixing So with some of those markings, I actually did some color mixing of some dark brown and gray for Pusheen's markings. These other ones here, I'm using the cutting in method, letting it dry, and then I'm just going in, adding like that darker outline, adding in some shadows. Got to add those little cute little details like the rosy cheeks. And then obviously when we go back and start adding that outline back, you can see all of our detail is now readable. It's called contrast. Wow, that was a fun one today. Well, hey guys, you got to sketch them all. Welcome back, Sketch Lab friends. Well, today this isn't just a milkshake, it's a rainbow cloud explosion with Cinnamoroll on top. Well, let's draw the sweetest drink in the sky. So this is going to be the shape of Cinnamoroll's head. Now I'm just going to connect those two lines now. Curving line up a little bit. And I can also connect these two. So that's the shape that we're going for. So you can see those lines that curve to the left and the right kind of created those little cheeks. And this is going to be the whipped cream on top. So we're going to draw this line that kind of looks like a shark's fin up top. And on the right hand side, look at this. I'm going to curve the line to the right. And once again, curve a line to the right. And on this side, I'm going to curve a line to the left. These lines are curving down, so now we have overlapping. It's going over the forehead of Cinnamoroll. I'm going to go ahead and erase out those construction lines. So you might want to draw lightly. It's easier to erase. All right, this is going to be our first ear. Now I'm going to once again erase off some construction lines. So I want the ear to be in front of the whipped cream, so I'll also fix that in a little bit. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Cinnamoroll just turned out fantastic. So now we have our other ear. And you can see we also have a little bit of, once again, a little bit of overlapping. This is a fun thing about drawing these characters. There's a simplicity to them. Your proportions are so important. And when we do our job right, they turn out so adorable. They're almost too cute to eat. These are going to be their little rosy cheeks. I added a little cross contour lines, curving across there. The whipped cream makes it a little bit more 3D. And then we're going to add on the mouth. These two lines are curved down. And then now we're going to draw one more line. So Cinnamoroll's mouth will be open today. Drawing a little bit of line of a body. Maybe just a little bit more over here. Now we're curving out the top of our milkshake. These ones are going to curve out to the left. So this is going to be a little arm. And look how cute it is. Cinnamoroll's waving at us. And now we're going to curve a line to the left. Now we're going to start curving these lines down. So it's kind of like this milkshake cloud that Cinnamoroll is on top of. This wonderful rainbow milkshake today. It's so much fun to do. Okay, we're going to draw the shape of the glass. And it's always good to stand back from your artwork. You see the difference between when we were close up and then we stand back from our work, we can really check out and make adjustments as needed. We're off to a wonderful start. We're going to add a little bit of thickness to this glass. Awesome. So I'm curious, would you rather have me draw like this the entire time, where you can see the entire paper? Or do you like it zoomed in? So this is going to be the straw. And thank goodness it is not going through the forehead of Cinnamoroll. Crisis averted. And then we can draw these little stripes across our straw. So this is what I was talking about. Do you guys like it when we get to zoom in? Yeah, now depending on what you're watching on, I know mobile devices you can zoom in on. I'm assuming with tablets you can too. So I want you to check out the outline on the left-hand side, and then we're going to get ready to color. So we're using one value right here, light blue today, to create the shadows on the whipped cream, on these wonderful milkshake cloud that Cinnamoroll is on top of. Just one color. And then we're going to use two colors as value here. So I have, for instance, pink, and then, or light pink, and then I'll be using dark pink. Now with the yellow, I've got the yellow ochre. And as you can see, I'm using the darker colors to help me create a little bit of value on the right-hand side of the glass. And just that little bit of value today, super 3D, super simplistic, and look at the effect we got. Wow. Well, I'll catch you in the next video, guys. Bye. Hi, Sketchlab friends. Well, what happens when a pink axolotl jumps into a glass of lemonade? Well, let's draw the sweetest summer surprise, step by step. So we're going to start off drawing the axolotl's head. Curving a line out to the left. Up and then out to the right. It's a little bit like a watermelon-shaped oval. So these are going to be the guidelines for the eyes and the center line of the head. So on this line, we're going to go ahead and draw the first eye. Start off with an oval. I'm going to curve a line above it and draw a straight line below it. I'm also going to leave in two little white dots for highlights. So same thing on this side, doing an oval, curve a line up, straight line underneath, and then adding those two little white highlights inside of the eye. And then we're going to make a cute little smiley face. Some rosy cheeks. All right, good job. So now we're going to go ahead and work on the axolotl's gills. So first I want you to start off with just like an oval shape. Now I want you to pay attention to the size of these shapes in relationship to the head. It's called proportions. All right, now that we have those shapes, we're going to go ahead and alter the outline just a little bit with these lines that curve down. This is a great example of how we can start off with a basic shape, and then we can go ahead and start changing the outline of that shape. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side now. So once again, going out and drawing this oval shape. So these are more like cucumber-shaped ovals that we're drawing. And then this one on the bottom is going to be smaller. And then once again, we're going to go ahead and curve these lines down. Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and establish the body of the character with just a couple lines here. So I'm kind of curving a line out to the left a little bit. And then once again out to the right a little bit. And now we're going to go ahead and work on the mason jar. So we have our 2 dots, and then we're going to draw a foreshortened circle. So check this out. See how I'm curving that line around? Foreshortened circle. You draw a vertical line. So this is the lip of the jar. That means it's the top of it. So this drink today has gills and it's totally chill. And you just notice how all these lines are matching? These lines are curved down. Okay, so now we're going to curve a line out to the left, curve a line out to the right. And now we're going to start working on the body of this jar. You got to make sure you draw fast today, otherwise this axolotl is going to swim away with your straw. So now we're going to curve this line down. Our little axolotl is swimming in lemonade today. And here's our little handle for our jar. And we're just repeating that same shape. And you have a handle. It's kind of like a rounded rectangular shape we're going for. We have a little arm. Erase off those construction lines. So now we have a little bit of overlapping. So now the arm is over the top of the jar. So you erased out those construction lines. And that is a method of creating space, which is an element of art. That's how an artist can make a flat piece of paper appear to be three-dimensional. Okay, we're going to draw the straw, so I'm going to curve a line up. Then I'm going to draw these two lines down. And you can even make a pattern on your straw. Like curve these lines a little bit up and diagonal. And now we're going to draw these circles for these little slices of lemons. So we have 1 part lemon, 1 part splash, and all parts adorable today. Maybe we'll add a little bit of mint leaves in here. So these are kind of like football shapes. So this is a great example of how we like to draw with basic shapes and forms here. And when we color today, if you don't have Posca markers, don't worry about it. You can color with whatever you have. We're basically going to be using color as value today. And so you can use a range of value of 1 color. Like if you think of pink and light pink, red. That's the range of value of 1 color, red. And you could also use value using next door neighbors, for instance, like yellow, green, green, blue, green. So when using these Posca paint markers today, you have 2 different ways we could use these. We could actually color mix right on the canvas while the paint is still wet, or you can let your layers dry. And that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm just establishing a base color first. So I've got light pink and light blue. Going in with ivory, yellow. Now I have ochre, which is a dark yellow. For the lemonade, I'm going with yellow. Got some apple green for the leaves. And you can see I'm adding a little bit of shadows to the axolotl with just pink. And then I have the fuchsia inside of the gills. I'm using coral pink for the rosy cheeks and inside the mouth. And the ivory is that light yellow. And then just going back and touching up that outline. Well, hey guys, I want to thank you so much for drawing with me today. And I hope you enjoyed this drawing lesson. Check out the playlist at the end of the video. Well, I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hi, Sketch friends. Are you ready to beat the heat with the cutest tropical treat ever? Well, today we're drawing this adorable pineapple popsicle, and it's dripping with kawaii vibes. Well, let's dive in and make summer even sweeter. So we're gonna curve a line up. So this is gonna be the body of the popsicle. We're actually gonna make a second layer here. We're gonna add some wavy lines. We're gonna make it a little drippy. Awesome. Okay, let's work on that second layer. And you can see we're curving a line down. Good job. And now this is going to be the popsicle stick. So these two marks determine the width of the popsicle stick. And then I'm going to go ahead and curve a line down. Okay, let's work on the expression. So I like to move my hand in a circular motion. Then I kind of put my pencil down on the paper. And we're going to add some white dots inside of the eyes. That's a characteristic of Kawaii style art. So we're going to have these big eyes. And we're going to have a little mouth. So about right here, we're going to add a little smiley face. Awesome. We got to ramp up the cuteness with some rosy cheeks. And then now we're going to go ahead and begin working on the pattern, the little pineapple pattern. So you can see these are diagonal lines, evenly spaced. And then we're going to go perpendicular. It means we're going to go in the opposite direction. And once again, evenly space the lines. Bam. Right there, guys. Good job. Now let's start to work on the top of the pineapple. We're going to be using some overlapping, so draw lightly. We're going to do some erasing here. So this is going to be the top of the pineapple. And that's going to be in the back. This one's going to be in front of it. So this is called overlapping. And I'm going to erase off this construction line because that leaf is supposed to be in the back. Draw another one coming out here to the left. And this one here is going to be behind. Go ahead and add another one right here. So this one is going to be in front of all these leaves. So we're going to erase that little construction line out. Wow. It's looking good, guys. Well, if you want to make your pineapple popsicle 3D, we're going to use a 45-degree angle, add a little bit of thickness. You can see on the popsicle stick. And then we'll do the same thing on the popsicle. So about a 45-degree angle, then add thickness. And once again, we're going to go ahead and add that 45-degree angle and then add a little bit of thickness. And if you don't have Posca markers, don't worry. You can color with whatever you have. We're basically going to be using colors value today. So in our color palette today, we're going to have like a yellow green and green. We'll also have yellow and yellow ochre, beige, and brown. That's going to be our color palette. So this is the apple green and the green. Now we have the yellow, putting in that base color. And then now back in with the darker yellow ochre for the patterns and the thickness. And beige and brown. And just touching up that outline. Well, hey guys, thank you for joining me today. Go ahead and check out the playlist at the end of the video. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.